Hello friends and gamers, my name is Jinx and welcome to Operation Hats. This is turn number 13. We've been routinely calling it turn number 14, but no, it is still turn number 13. It is July 1942, the Italian turn. Let's get started on the Italians. Is there any little house corrections we need to make? We've addressed it on the other videos, but broadly speaking, the only one I could think of is this Russian militia shows up in northern Iran as opposed to up in Vipuria province. And there's a couple little other changes on the map as well, but that's the big one, I suppose, that might impact us. All right, starting with our technology. So we succeeded on our tech roll and we got to the fourth stage here of improved construction. It took us, let's say, 13 and our factories out of commission for 2 turns. So it took us 11 turns to succeed, which works out to about a little over 2.5 attempts per stage to succeed. So that's a bit below average, but not as bad as I thought it was. It took us forever to get to the first 2 stages, and then the last 2 stages went relatively quickly. So that was quite nice. All right, getting on to production over here. We have 21 bucks to spend. So that's what we're going to do this turn. We're going to lend lease an anti-aircraft gun to the Germans. We're going to place our fortification. I think we have to place that fortification. 2 militia, 3 infantry, and these 2 units here. That's 21 bucks total. Let's just remove this one and stand in one for the Germans over here. All right, 21 bucks brings us down to 0. And we turn our attention to the board for any combat movements that occur. We have 1 combat movement, or a couple, I guess. Well, it depends on how you count it. These 4 transports are coming 1, 2 to the Red Sea with all this stack of infantry, which is 5 infantry class units, and we're dropping them all off in Eritrea, capturing it from the opposing enemy here, the Free French. Eritrea is ours once again. Now, as a part of that, I gotta send this destroyer here as well as part of the show. Otherwise, I'll forget him. And that's it for those 2 things. I think that's it for our combat moves. So let's go for non-combat. What we got going on here, we have these 2 infantry are coming from southern Italy to Lazio. We have these 2 fighters are coming across to East Poland. Yeah, East Poland. We have 3 infantry railing towards East Poland as well. 1 from Yugoslavia, 1 from Rome, and 1 from East Poland. And one of these guys is going to go from northern Italy all the way to, what's this place called? Upper Egypt. Upper Egypt. So that's what's going on there. And then we have these 2 aircraft are going to fly around to Egypt itself. So we have a few aircraft here now. If they sit nicely enough, maybe they'll get a cookie. There we go. There's that, and I hear my kids rustling about once again, so that is always a fun little event. Do I want to put them here? I think I will put them there. I think that's what I'll do for now. All right, so that's what's going on. Any other corrections on the board here? Nope. So these guys here in Cape Town, well, they decided with the Free French storming down the gates with 3 artillery, a bunch of infantry, medium armor, mechanized, and an anti-aircraft gun. We thought, you know what? We could put up a brave stance in the city of Cape Town and hold off and definitely take a few units off the enemy. But we decided to retreat. We're retreating out of Cape Town to South Africa, Southwest Africa rather, and we'll see how that pays off for us. But I thought it was particularly, I gotta say the biggest motivation for doing this is, well, part of it was it made sense, but part of it I found it was kind of funny. It's not often that retreat seems like the better option in regards to defending a city, particularly something that's worth a victory point to our opponent, part of a victory point to our opponents, and so I thought it was pretty hilarious. Hilarious is too strong. Mildly amusing, and so I sent them to Southwest Africa. We'll see if that pays off in the future, but it's kind of a fun thing. All right, what else do we got going on? I don't see other marks on the table. I think that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all, erase all drawn lines. And I'm going to go over here, grabbing our pieces off the table and cruising them back to where the action takes place. Now, the German AA is produced at this factory. It's going to go through Switzerland. It doesn't need to go the shortest route, through Alsace-Lorraine, Paris, Picardy, Belgium, Netherlands, and go to Western Germany. That is the plan. All right, and now the rest of it, we're going to, obviously we're going to put these other dudes up here in northern Italy, and the rest of it, I think we're going to put one over in Rome. Yeah, I think Rome home is a good spot. What about over here anywhere? I'm actually pretty happy with all that. Maybe I'll put one in Transjordan. Normally, I'm not a big proponent for militia, but it seems appropriate at this point. Seems somewhat appropriate at this point. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let's put one in Transjordan. That prevents any kind of easy walk-ons by the enemy if they so choose to do so. Of course, taking them out is a very easy objective, but they can't do it with one single unit, or not easily anyways. So that's it. I think that's all there is to it. I can't think of anything else that needs to be done. I'm not going to belabor the point too much. Let's see what our income is. I think we dropped some income. Yeah, so we're 16 plus 2 bonuses for Gibraltar and the Suez being open to us here, and that brings us up to a nice tidy 20 bucks to spend on our subsequent turn. You know what? I did forget something, and that something is placing our fortification. Now, there are several schools of thought as to a good spot to put this fortification. I'm on the fence of a bunch of them rather. I think ultimately I'm going to put it in either northern Italy or in Lower Egypt, facing the ocean. Do I have to do it? Do I have to put it down? I think I do have to put it. Okay, I'm going to put it in... I'm going to put it in northern Italy, I think. Let me double check here. So, attacking, shore bombarding, desert gives a -1. So does mountain. I think right now it might be more important to protect Egypt. But they're both really, really quite important. You know what? I'm gonna sit on this one for a second and get back to my fellow players on this one and talk to my ally briefly. That's one point I forgot to bring up with him. So I'll take care of that in a moment. In the meantime, I will leave that as is with 20 bucks to spend and a situation looking not as ideal as it could be for the Axis, at least the Western Axis, especially as the Americans come charging down at us with an interesting mixed bag of forces. They have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry and an artillery. So, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 artillery and a light tank. So, an interesting mixed bag of forces that can come at us to Gibraltar here in the subsequent turn. Anyways, gentlemen, thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Cheers.